I got another little commission. Well, it's not a little commission to do. I'm looking for my sketch pad. I guess I have to get that sketch pad. So let me make a couple of little reference marks here. Tell you what, let's go ahead and put the liquid white on first, and then we'll do that. It's going to be a great paint day, I can tell, because I've already got paint on my fingers and I didn't even start yet. Oh, yeah. One of those kind of days. Okay. So open liquid white. If this is your first time tuning in, you might ask what liquid white is. It's just titanium white cut with linseed oil. You can make it yourself with linseed oil, and I don't make it myself because I use too much of it. To be bothered with it every time I want to start a painting. So, but you can make it yourself. I do make a lot of my own stuff. I make my own gesso and make my own liquid clear. If you might ask, what is the difference between liquid white and amazing white? If you've seen those two things, they're the same thing. What's different is the container, pretty much. Alright, I just need to stir it just a little bit. I just used it the other day, so. Alright. Okay, I think we're ready to go. So this is a brush, reconditioned. I'll wipe it out a little bit more. Maybe I'll cut it with Moto's paint thinner. It's a Bob Ross 1-inch brush. I think it dried. It just needed some reconditioning. It lost a bunch of its body. Alright, so let's do this. Let's get the liquid white on here so we can start thinking about what we're going to paint. I have a little bit of an idea about how I want to go about this. Usually I don't have an idea at all when I get ready to start. I like to compose on the fly, and I sort of am going to be doing that today, but I do have a general idea. This is a commission piece of work. I don't do those very often. I get some requests, but I like to paint what I like to paint, so I don't do them very often. I don't want to paint what somebody else wants, really. I just want to paint what moves me. That's why I retired. I love my job. I love my job, and I love what I did. I love my team, but I retired because I wanted to do what I wanted to do. So, alright, let me smoothen this out. Now this canvas has got a little bit of texture to it. That's okay for what I want to do. Alright. Say hello when you come in, otherwise I won't know you're here. I'd be glad to talk to you if you were here. I was hoping Emily Jean would come on today, but I just saw she has a bad headache, so I think that should be showing today. But that's okay, I guess. I'd rather her feel better than worry about that. Alright. Then worry about being on my thing and feeling bad. So let's kind of, we're going to have some sky, some water, and stuff. A couple of mountains in the background, maybe. We'll decide here in a second. Alright, so I'm just putting some phthalo blue out on the palette. Now, I did have a question on my page. Somebody left about what sort of palettes do I use. I try to think of these things when I first started. I've only been painting for 2 years, so when I first started it wasn't all that long ago. I use paper palettes. I have used the Bob Ross palette, and I've also used a smaller palette. And honestly, I just like the paper palettes because when I'm done, I can just move the paint to the next piece of paper. And they're like wax paper, kind of. A little thicker than that, but basically the same thing. And then I just move the paint to the next one, any that's left over, and just continue painting. No cleanup. I like that. So, all right. So let's get started with this some more. So we're just putting some phthalo blue here. And let's put in a little bit of sky. So we're just going to use an X stroke here. We'll just kind of move it around. Nothing in particular. I don't care too much about this. Alright. I'll get started. Oh, you know what? I should put some water down here. I want to kind of keep this water well, I don't guess I need to worry about that too much. So I say I keep that water a little straight, but so I'm just going to switch brushes and I'll dry them both out here in a second. And I reckon, let's see. So I'm going to do this. Let's just kind of try to keep it a little bit straight. I have quite a bit of water in this picture. In this painting. Oh, you know what? Hang on a second. I'll monitor over here, guys. Give me a second. All right, let's carry on. All right, so now we just want to kind of blend this out. So let's kind of twirl this in. Good kind of just go back and forth or use X strokes to do it. I think I feel like twirling it today, so that's what I'm going to do. Let me just kind of blend it back into the white. Alright. And I'm just kind of blend this softer. Alright, let's clean the brush. Those of you just joining, hello, welcome. We're just getting started. Hey Aaron, how are you? So all we've really done is we put some liquid white on here and we put in a little bit of a sky. I think we'll slap a couple clouds up in there. I don't know if, I don't know if I want a lot of clouds up in there, but let's put a couple. I'm just going to use a fan brush to do that. You know, you can't really mess a cloud up too bad. Clouds, they kind of do whatever they want to do in the sky. Go wherever they want to go. Whatever shape they are, it's going to change in about 2 minutes, so you just, or faster, depending on the wind. All right. Just want a couple of things. A couple of doodads in here. hey, I understand. People have jobs and all kinds of stuff to do, but the video will be posted, so you guys can drop back in, and if you have any questions at that time, just drop them to me. I'll be glad to answer them. All right, let's just kind of blend the bottom of this cloud out a little bit. I don't really want like a whole bunch of texture in this cloud, just a little softy thing, you know. Just kind of floating up in there. I'm just kind of push it back. So I'm kind of insinuate a cloud more than I want to. All right, there we go. All right. Hi, Lucy. How are you today? We're just kind of getting started. Hey, Tracy. Say hi, guys, and I know you're out there. I'll be glad to chat with you. Alright, so I think I want to kind of smooth the bottom of this guy. Well, I don't necessarily need to worry about it too much. Alright, so let's put, I think I'll do this with a fan brush. I want to put a little bit of a mountain in here. Not really like a distant hill more than a mountain, so let's do that. Let's tell you what, let's do it with a filbert brush. It's really pretty easy to lay out a mountain with a filbert brush. So I'll tell you what, let's do that. I'm going to try something here. These are not like Rocky Mountain, Western Mountains. These are like living in Eastern Kentucky kind of mountains. So they're kind of, we're going to mix up a little bit of blue, and a little bit of green, a little bit of titanium white. See what kind of color we come up here. But that blue is really blue, so you gotta. Alright, let's see if this looks. I want this to be way off in the distance, so. So you see, we can use the brush strokes to actually put one mountain in front of the other. If we want any at all, I need to make this mountain a little bit bigger though, I think. If I'm going to get the kind of... Alright, tell you what, let's put just a tad bit more green on this. Just a tad. And maybe put like a little bitty darker spot right here. Another range coming in, just a little bit. Can you guys hear me okay? Hey, Sunny D. You on a painting break yourself? Well, you gotta take them every once in a while, right? Alright. So let's just kind of... I'm just gonna put a little bit of... Tap. I'm just kind of creating a little bit of mist in here. And I can put just a little bit of a darker mountain thing in here like this. Here we go. You know, I'll tell you what, let's make this peak go up above here. There we go. I like that better. Alright, so like I said, for those of you that haven't, I'm working in oils. Alright, so I'm going to end up having to do this video in 2 parts, because my wife is out today on an errand for my daughter, and the next time she pings me, I'm going to have to go pick her up. But we'll see how far we get with this first. That was her just pinging me, telling me that the people that were supposed to be there at 8 o'clock this morning just arrived. and they were going to get us set about their work. So let's get Yeah, we're working in traditional oils on canvas, rich canvas. The canvas was prepped with 2 coats of gesso. I did a video on that this afternoon on how to make that, so if you're interested in making your own gesso, it's a lot cheaper. It's cheaper. Alright. Alright, so let's kind of just gonna shape this mountain just a bit. Here we go. Oh no, it's oils. It's definitely oils. It was wet on wet here. Everything's wet. Liquid white that we put on first of all makes the canvas slick so we can blend paint really easy. And then we just kind of go from there. Everything's one layer of paint on top of another. Alright, now I want to put how do I want to go about this? Let's see. Alright, so I'm going to mix up a little bit darker color. I think I'll use sap green for that. And maybe some midnight black. Where is it? There it is. Oh my goodness. Hey, it's almost time to have a celebration. Get to open a new tube of paint. Don't you just love it on new tube of paint day? I do. It takes me, I paint about 100 paintings a year, but I always love new paint day. I mean, open a new can of paint day. Alright, so let me I'm just mixing up some sap green and some midnight black together. And I'll take a little bit of white here and see what I got on the side. Yeah, that might look okay. Let's do a little bit more. And then midnight black, if you're not familiar with midnight black, it's not really all that black. It's more purple than anything. Alright, so I'm going to create some trees, some distant trees. I'm going to use if you watch me very much, you'll find a number 3 fan brush is like one of my favorite fan brushes, absolutely one of my favorite fan brushes. And I use the number 1. Use the number 1 flat brush. I mean, not a number 1 flat, not a flat brush, a 1-inch brush, quite good. So, alright. So I want to create some mountains, like, when I say mountains, trees going this way. I'm trying to get my head in the way. Is my head getting in the way? I can't back up the video and look, but I have a feeling that just then it was right kind of in the way. So let me kind of sit back. So I'm taking this brush, for those of you that are not familiar with that, and I'm just using the edge of it and I'm just stroking it straight down, just like that, straight down, and then moving it, just pushing down on it with the edge of the brush. Just to kind of insinuate some distant trees back here. And if you kind of tap it, you kind of get a little bit of some texture to go with it. It'll put it in there. Just fill that in a little bit. And then got to insinuate some shore a little farther away, like this. I'll probably need some color down in there though. So let's just add some color, a little bit of color down this way, onto the water. This particular subject I'm trying is really more of a study in perspective. For me, perspective is something I struggle with just a little bit, so it usually seems to kind of work itself out, but sometimes it's challenging. And I'm over here just to kind of randomize this a little bit. Alright, now I'm going to add a little bit more black to that color. And you know what? I think what I'll do before I do that, I'm going to take a little bit of white, just a tad bit of white, like this, right on the edge with this brush. And right up in here, I'm just going to tap a little bit of that in, soften up this spot right there. I don't think I'm going to push that too far down that hill, but maybe a little bit over here too. And then what I plan to do is I'm going to add a little bit more black to this color, just to darken it. I don't usually use black to darken stuff, but since, midnight black is more kind of a Prussian blue, alizarin crimson type color. Alright, so let's just kind of keep, and I don't want to put in another row of trees right here. So these trees are going to be a little darker because they're a little closer to us, right? So they want to be a little bit darker. And that little bit of mist we put in there will keep them where we want them. And we'll put a little bit more color down in here, because there's going to be some water down here. Alright. We'll just want to fill up some of this white space here. So I'm going to pick up a little bit of that old color. Alright. Not too worried about this side, because I'm going to put some more trees in here. Hey Peter, how are you? Alright. So, let's just take a 1-inch brush here. I'm going to pull some of this color down. Like this. And very softly, we'll pull it to the side. Turn all that into reflections. Alright. Brandon! Man, I was just wondering about you this morning. I was looking to see if you answered my message. How are you doing, buddy? I'm doing good, Pete. I'm doing good. Kind of hustling through this. I may have to go halfway through to go pick up my wife, so we'll see. It's Brandon Thomas, y'all. Brandon Thomas Art. He has a line of paintbrushes and mediums, and he's a really good instructor. We've known each other for a couple of years now, I guess. All right, let's drop some water lines in here. Well, you know what? Before we do that, let's just insinuate a little bit of shoreline in there. Just a little bit. Not too much, because it's a long way away over there, right? So let's get some dark sienna. Oh, yeah. You got that right. Got that right, Peter. Brandon's met her. He knows she's the boss of me. Alright, so let's just put a little bit of shoreline in here, not too much, just to kind of, give an idea that it's out there. Back up in that way, maybe out this way just a little bit. There we go. Alright, now we'll put some water lines in there. I don't really need to highlight that too much because it's kind of contrasting with those trees. So let's just mix up a little bit. I'm just going to pick up a little bit of titanium white. Come in here, try to keep my big head out of the way. Let's scrub some water lines in. Now when you're putting the water lines in, make sure you stay horizontal. Even when you're coming down the page, you want it to stay straight. Because if you don't, it's going to look weird. It's going to look like your water is running off of the page. Or off of the canvas, I guess it's the right word. Alright. So, okay, that looks pretty good. Now we're going to get to the hard part for me, anyway. Hey, Pat. Alright, so I'm going to kind of, I guess maybe I can just sketch this in. Brandon does this on his videos all the time. He just sketches it in with the paint. So we'll try to do that a little bit. So let's just kind of get an idea where I want to go, just to kind of be like. This. Excuse me not talking here for a bit while I get locked in on this. I think I want this to go out a bit like this. And then kind of like this. Alright, that should get me started. Sometimes. Alright, so let's get a flat brush. I don't use a lot of flat brushes, but today we're going to use one because I think it might be easiest. So I'm just going to kind of paint this dock in here like this. And then there's going to be, let's see, you know what, I take right here, I'm going to switch colors, watch this, I'm going to switch colors, and then I'm just going to wipe the brush clean and try it again. Alright, so right here though, I want some shadow, the edge of this dock, like that, a little darker, That's Brandon's motto, a little darker, darker. Alright. And then back to this to start with. So let's just kind of just paint this color in a little bit. Get on this line. So it's going out at an angle, right? So it's, I wish I had an angle brush, but I don't have an angle brush for this, for oils. I have one for acrylics, but I don't do a lot of acrylics. I did an acrylic for my wife a while back. I did a Winnie the Pooh thing. That was kind of cool. That was kind of fun. Alright, so I'm going to need some more dark sienna to get this painted in here. And then I'll decide about posts and things like that. Maybe. I guess it'd be best we just kind of lay this color in here first, and then let's do that. Let's lay the color in, and then we'll shape the brush strokes. So this canvas has got a lot of tooth in it, so which means it's kind of rough. So in texture. So just guys, excuse me for a second. I'm going to have to turn this so I can catch that angle just right. I'm sure Bob Ross would never do that, but but I will. You know, I guess I could have just painted that in with a knife. It would have been just as easy, I guess. All right. Hey, Rodrigo, have I said hi to everybody? If I haven't said hi to you, I meant to. Hi, Sarah. It'll be Sarah. The video will be uploaded, and you can watch it from there when it's done. All of our stuff gets saved up to Facebook, so you'll be able to watch it later if you want to. And you can still ask questions. I will certainly answer them. I'll see them. It'll come up on my notifications. All right, so let's just add Before we get too rambunctious with the highlighting part, let's just put some shadows in here. So I don't need a lot of shadow right here, just enough to insinuate that the clock's turning down, down, down. All right. Now, so I want to highlight this, and I think the way I'm going to do it,
Wendy Stivers.
Oh, hang on, guys. Hello? Okay. Okay, I'm ready. Bye-bye. Alright, so we'll finish up part of this, and then I have to go pick up my wife, because she's the boss of me. Nah, she's not, she's nice. Alright, so let's just we're going to start off with some titanium white. And I kind of want to just bring this in and brush it toward the edges. Yes. Like this, like this. So I'm kind of picking up a little of that color as I go. I'm going to have to get some more titanium white out though. Center of the dock. Just kind of insinuating the center of the dock. I'm going to get darker on the edges. So hang on a second. Can't paint without paint, that's for sure. BT, you still out there? How's your book coming, man? I know you were working on it last time we talked. No, it's going to be easier to just turn it again, I think. Yep. Alright, I'll go with that. And then, I probably need some highlight like that on the top of the dot. So let's just kind of insinuate some highlighting here. There we go. Alright. Almost there? Good deal. Alright, so I'm just going to pick up a really fine line of plaque. We're going to try this out, see how this goes. We're just going to plank this thing out now. First I'm going to start right here on the edge. Actually, I don't even know if I need that much dark. We'll see. I didn't quite get that one all the way across. There we go. Dark is adding just enough lines to give it some definition. Alright, so that one I put a lot of pressure on the knife and I kind of cut all the way down to the canvas. So I'm just kind of going back over that line again. There we go. Alright, so if you just join, this is I don't usually paint this kind of stuff. Somebody actually wanted to commission me to do a painting for them. I don't usually do that, but this person, they convinced me. So this is the second series. If you look on my fine arts page, you'll see a painting called Abandoned. That's the first painting in this series. And actually, these are going to be reproduced in color at a later date. But initially in the book, I think they're going to be in black and white. So shadowing is particularly important. All right. I'm kind of okay with that. I'll tell you what though, I think on this side, I think. Let me clean a brush or two and think about this for a second. I think what I want to do is I'm going to add these 4 posts. Now this one over here is going to be a little bit of a shadow this way. This will be a bit darker than that, I think. Alright. Just a bit darker. This one here is going to give me, I don't know about that one too much. And then it's kind of then we'll take those 2 right there that go out into the water like that. And we'll just blend them out and make them a little bit shadowy. Like that. Alright, let's put a couple little water lines around those. Not the ones in the front, just these back down here. Back. Not too much paint there. You can also kind of insinuate that over that shadow and it'll look pretty good too. Like that. And then let's add some water lines out here to the middle. One right there at the beginning, right there. There's a fish jumping out there. If there's a fish jumping, Brandon's out there fishing for it. I know he is. Alright. He's a fishing dude. Alright. Now let's try to push this back farther into the picture a little bit. We're going to do that. I think what I'm going to do so I've created this little heel. See how it's got like a heel? It's where I pulled it through the paint. This is, by the way, this is one of Brandon's brushes, 1-inch brushes. So it's mixed in with my other 1-inch brushes. So I want to kind of think. I'm do a Bob Ross thing here, man. Throw a bunch of stuff over all the things I just painted. And maybe like, but this will kind of vignette this a little bit. You know, it'll kind of set it off. Just kind of have that hanging down, and then maybe along in here. I need more paint. There we go. Just kind of mix some stuff in here. I'll come back and highlight that in a second. And that kind of leaves me with this here. So I think in order to balance that out, I'm just going to kind of, we'll work another piece of landscaping here, right there. Right about like that. All right. Hey, Suzanne. And my channel is not sponsored by Brandon Thomas Art. We just happen to be friends. All artists are friends, aren't we? I mean, we're all trying to help each other get along. All right, so let's do a little bit of highlighting here on some of this. I'm going to start over here on this little last piece of little ground. I'm just going to kind of scrunch in some color. So I'm kind of creating like this little bead of paint on my knife, and see all those different colors in there? So we're just going to take advantage of that. You show that to people to be like, ooh, how'd you get all that? How'd you get all those different colors in there? So this will look kind of, not like a beach really, because we're going to put some grass on here in a second, but you kind of pull that down. And then we'll let me clean that knife off. So I'm just going to get a bead of dark color and just kind of push it in right here around the edge. And then I'll follow that with some water lines in a minute. Maybe put a little bit of that dark up in here, like that. Yeah, there we go. Okay. Highlighting. Let's get to it. Let's get some cad yellow. I got the sap green on the palette. That'll work okay. And maybe, oh, I've got some green ochre on here too. So, yellow ochre on here too. So I'm just taking a little bit of linseed oil. Taking just a touch of sap green. Sap greens are really powerful, so watch out when you put it in there. And let's kind of touch it into these trees here. Like that. Well, with a little bit of that sky, I want these trees to be a little airy, right? So I don't want it to be too funky looking. I mean, too full looking. That's what I'm looking for. That's the word I'm looking for. All right, so we'll just kind of highlight this right in here. I'm gonna leave a lot of that dark. That dark's your friend. That dark keeps the 3D in your, keeps the D in your 3D. All right, so let's just kind of tap this in here. There's some little bushes there and there. Just a few little doodads. And then maybe we'll put like, you know what? I'll tell you what. Let's do this. Where's that brush? Here we go. So going back to Brandon's brush here for a minute. We're going to kind of push up some edging like that. Not putting enough paint. Not the brush's fault, my fault. All right. So I'll take that. We'll highlight that a little bit. Just a little, like that. And then I want to take a little bit more of that. Nope, didn't get much. I guess I'm going to put some more paint out. Stand by, guys. Ooh, I get to open a brand new tube of Midnight Black. How awesome. Alright. My cat really likes new cat food bag day, and I really like opening a new paint day. Alright, there we go. Now we're mixing this linseed oil up to make this, tapping it out on the palette so that it can't, make it liquidy enough so that it peaks. It creates a peaks. Uh-oh. Well, we're going to be done in a minute, so don't worry. Alright, so we'll just kind of tap these in here. Tap these in here. Alright, and then, let's see. I think it might not hurt. Hang on just a second. Let me get these brushes on. Oh, where's my sketch? It's not around. Alright, well, I think that's okay. But let's just kind of... Maybe. No. Well, yeah, that'll probably work. Just want to kind of insinuate a couple of little posts right like in here. have them cut in just a little bit on the dot like that. Here we go. I'll just use that same brush and we'll try to add a little bit of highlight and a little bit of, you know what, it might not hurt to just take a little bit of this. I mean, it's not too much. Let's put just a little bit of highlighting on that side of the post, like that. Put the brush over, a bit of paint. There we go. Just bring it in. And then let's just take a little bit of white and just put a little bit of waterline right there. All right. So I'm hoping this will meet what these guys wanted for their book. I hope you guys are having a wonderful day, because I am. And it's hump day. So, hey, something good for that, right? Hey, Brandon, reach out to me when you get a chance, buddy. Good talking to you again. And I hope all of you guys have a wonderful day. Keep painting. See you next time.